This is going to be a screencast that will take you through just a brief kind of tour of the DataSnap website. What we're going to do is we're going to look at how to track properties in a given week, and then we're also going to take a look at the different types of searches that are with the technology that's here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and log in. One of the bigger issues we've had up until this point is that because it is password protected, just to keep the advantage in the court of those that are using the site, so everything's password protected, so the general public can't see it, but yet people that are signed up and do subscribe are able to take a look at the foreclosures here in Pierce County, Snohomish, and King County, so the Tri-County area. So once you're logged in, what you'll see here is that there's 4 major areas that most people are going to be using. You're going to be using simple search, which is more of like just a one-line brief view. Well, let's go ahead and take a look at it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to choose Pierce County, and tomorrow's sale date is 12/28/2012. So I'm going to be taking a look at this, but we will see up here, you can see last week's information and you can see the upcoming week's information. And this will be for all 3 counties. So, and what I'm really interested in is the active properties. I'm not so much concerned about things that have been canceled or postponed or what have you. We'll catch up with those later in future sales. So I'll go ahead and select active properties and select tomorrow. So what this is going to do is, what we can see here is we got 92 properties that are going tomorrow. And all of the foreclosures are in alphabetical order, although they are sortable based upon each column here. We see that we have, it is Thursday, so we got a lot of opening bids. We got one down here that's still yet to come in, but we got a lot of opening bids. So that's the simple search. We can see that when you take a look at one of these foreclosures, you can open it up and you can actually see the vital information. And this is what we would call a lead sheet. So it's going to have the foreclosure information, it's going to have the property information, it's going to have tax information. So really it's an aggregate of all the information that would be important for short of putting your eye on it and going out to the subject property. This is a lot of the important information. Okay, so that there is the simple search. We can go back to the home and we can look at date detailed search. What that is going to do, go ahead and choose Pierce County and we'll show active properties and this week. That's going to give more of a detailed analysis, and you can scan through. There's individual pages down here, so one could click forward and actually move through the inventory and take a look at it that way. Go back to the home. Custom search. I'm not going to get into a lot of detail here. This is more so going to be used for people that are doing pre-foreclosure stuff, because it allows you to put in a calendar date and search into the future, because we do input information into the system the day after recording. It makes this a great tool for the pre-foreclosure market, so that you can actually look into the future and see foreclosures that will not be up for auction for approximately 90 days. So this is more of a, like it says, a detailed search. And then I'm going to go back to the home. And then we have our tracked properties. This is where what I'm going to do is I'm going to take you guys through just how to, we're going to take a look at Pierce County. We're going to simplify it down. We're going to make some folders and organize everything so that way we can digest the information, determine what deals make sense. So let's go ahead and get into this. I'm going to go back to the simple search from the menu up top. and I'm going to choose Pierce County. I'm only concerned about active properties at this point. I'm going to choose this week's bucket. Okay, so everything's come up. These are the properties that I'm concerned about for this week, and I want to know what makes sense. So there's quite a few of them. I'm going to go down to the bottom. I'm going to go ahead and check all of them, because what we're going to do is we're going to start to move these into through folders and sift and sort so that we find the ones that make sense. Okay, so, and instead of using my general folder, which everyone has, I'm going to go ahead and start to create unique folders, and I'm going to start off by putting it into, we'll click track selected. Let's go ahead and name this. Let's go ahead and name it No Bids. Okay, so everything turned pink on us because they're now all tracked. We can go into our tracking menu. We can see that that folder I just created is there. Now some of these properties actually do have bids. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and bring everything to the top by sorting based upon the opening bid column. So now what we have is we have all of our opening bids at our fingertips. Okay, so from here I'm going to start to work back. This is a little bit tedious, but I'm going to select all these. What I'm going to do is just keep going until I get to the top, and we're going to put these in our bids folder. That's the next folder. So again, what we're doing is we're just simply refining the inventory to find the ones that make sense. Okay. Almost there. Because it is Thursday, most of the bids are in. If I had done this on Monday, Tuesday, and even Wednesday, there'd be a lot less homework right now. But what I'm going to show you guys is how we can take 100 properties and refine it down to what makes sense. Okay, so we're back to the top now. We have everything that has opening bids selected. Go all the way down to the bottom, and I'm going to say create new folder, track 2, and let's name this. We're going to name this one bids because they have bids. Okay. So they've all been moved now. So now we have, notice our foldering system, we've created this bids folder, and we can still see here's all the no bids, which I will check back periodically as the site is updated. There will be records that then show here with bids, and we'll be able to move them through the process. But okay, now here we are on my bids folder. So in order to analyze these things real fast, what we want to do is we have a ratio that is referred to as the value ratio. And what it is at this point in time, because we have an opening bid, what we're doing is we're comparing opening bid versus tax assessed value as a quick way to kind of sort through all of the ones that don't have any equity. Every once in a while you'll get something like this where it's a little bit goofy, maybe a raw land or something like that, so it shows up as a 0. So what you would want to do is do a little bit of additional research. But what we do notice is that there's some properties here, 41,000 versus an assessed value of 154. So what we can see is that one very well could make sense if it's a first mortgage, but it's definitely something worth looking into. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to start sorting all the properties that have less than 75% value ratio, because those ones, in theory, have some equity in it. which we can see that this is shaping up to be a pretty decent week. So where are we now? 63%. So let's keep going. Again, this is a little bit tedious, but shoot, we're going through, whoop, jumped above 75 there. Okay, so now these ones, we can see that these ones are all below the 75%, so they meet that threshold of having some equity in them. I'm going to go down to my bottom. I'm going to say, let's create a new folder, and let's call this one Track 2, Good Bids. Good bids. Okay. So now these ones back here that have greater than 75%, we can do more analysis on them, but they've already been looked at. So I'm not really going to concern myself with them unless I want to go deeper into them and start to really dig in on the records. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and move those ones to a new folder. And I'm going to call it junk because I really don't want to look at those again unless I'm really trying to dig for an opportunity. So I'm going to move those to junk. Okay. So I have my good bids folder, which has all the below 75% ratio. I have my junk folder with all the things that are in excess of 75%, so they really probably don't make financial sense. Wind up going back to the bank, and maybe we'll see them as an REO. We have our bids folder, which should be empty, yep. And we have our no bids folder, which still don't have any updates right now. Okay, so when we go to what's important is to really take in and take a look at these good bids. So we start to look at these, and let's choose one that might make kind of sense. Oh, okay, well in here this is now on hold due to bankruptcy, so this is no longer even relevant. So what I'll do is I'll just untrack that one. We're working with a live site here, so things are coming in. This is one of the busiest times of somebody in the foreclosure market's week. So what we're seeing right here is actually the records are being manipulated as I'm recording this. So let's go ahead and take a look at something maybe like this. Let's go ahead and open this one up. So this one, opening bid, get familiar with this spreadsheet here. I'm sorry, the lead sheet here. We can see the opening bid is $206,000 approximately. And we can see the characteristics of the house, characteristics of the parcel of land, tax information here. A few different just market indicators of where the price might be. Not that we put a whole heck of a lot of weight within the Zillow's estimate or what have you, but it's just there for those that want to take a look at it. And this has to do with the debt details, so this doesn't really play into what the opening bid is, but it just shows what was on the legal notice when it was filed. And over here, this shows us who's going to be foreclosing on the property. It gives us an indicator of where it might be located as far as the time and the date. So really it's given us all the details that we need in order to pursue this property if we determine that this makes sense. Okay, so what I've done, I'm going to go back here to the home page, is I've gone through all of Pierce County for this Friday's auction in a matter of about 15 minutes. And what I've done is I have all my properties tracked. What I will do, and this takes a little bit more time, is I'll take a look at these good bids and make a determination on which one of these actually make financial sense. So there you have it. This concludes this screencast. I hope you've enjoyed it, and if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. My email address is matt@datasnapforeclosures.com. Again, matt@datasnapforeclosures.com. Take care. Have a good one.